welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those who need instant gratification, and the show's Twitter feed is at SkimPod, SKIMPOD.
Stays Crunchy.
For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again being spelled with a K.
Crunchy.
Hey, feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311.
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
We're available by Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, anywhere fine podcasts are available. And of course, at the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share wherever possible, including on YouTube, where we can now be found at Stays Crunchy. And over on Twitch, where we're still Stays Crunchy and Milk. Our personal Twitters are
Tatum216,
Lunchbox2099,
The Real ODP.
And I'm your host, the Internet's Tayrell713.
Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy.
We still hustle till the sun come up. Crack a 40 when the sun goes down. It's a cold winter. Y'all niggas better bundle up. And I better be a hotter summer. Grab an onion just to rock it up. You hot now. Listen up. Don't you know cops' sole purpose is to lock us down and throw away the key? But without this drug shit, your kids ain't got no way to eat, huh? We still try to keep mom smiling, because when her teeth start showing and her stomach start growling, then the heat start flowing. If you from the hood, I know you feel me. Keep going. If I sneak start leaning and the heat stop working, then my heat start working. I'm going to rob me a person. Catch a nigga sleeping while he out in the open, and I'm going to get him. We got to raise our kids. We got to raise our kids while we live and make $1 million off a record. Bail my niggas out of prison. Fuck a Bentley or a Lexus. Just my boys in the squatter. Niggas talk reckless, then I hit them with the smithing. But I'm never snitching, I'm a rider. If my kids is hungry, snatch the dishes out your kitchen. I'll be wildin' till they pick me out of lineup. Even though what we do is wrong. Wild, I fuck niggas up, laugh. Wait a minute, I skipped the line. We keep the nines tucked, chop dimes up, rapped about it. Wild out, fuck niggas up, laugh about it. I'm not trying to visit the morgue, but freeway move out till I sit with the Lord, till I get my shit together, clean up my sins. Freeway got it in like 10 in the morning, and I can get it to you like 10 while you're yawning, man. Even though what we do is wrong, still deliver the order, man. And I ain't talking about chicken and gravy, man. I'm talking about bricks of yayo, halves and quarters, 4.5 a hash. You do the math. Swing past us to scoop up your daughter. She want to roll with thugs that rap. You do the math. He gonna blast till my stack in order, man.
Man,
I'll tell you why.
Let me get him free.
I'll tell you why I picked those lyrics here shortly, and I don't know, maybe you'll chuckle, maybe you won't. Hello, welcome to it. This is Stays Crunchy Milk. It's episode 439, and yes, we support mid-tier phones. I'm joined by my best friend, Tatum216.
In the building.
And Lunchbox2099.
Don't you be hating on Boost Mobile?
Okay, so if anybody's wondering how did T get to fucking freeways, what we do is wrong. After the events of Sunday night, somebody posted this on Twitter, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. And it says, "This is the tweet. If you from the hood, I know you feel me." And there this goes. If a sneak start hold on, I want to get this right. If a sneak start joking and the wife stops smirking, then my hands start working. I'ma slap me a person. And I laughed and laughed and laughed that they managed to blend Freeways, What We Do, Philly rapper Freeway with another Philly rapper who got himself into a state of this past weekend. Didn't really want to get into it. I mean, I know it's the news, and we really probably should have a big conversation about it, but also like, oh, for corn's sake, I'm tired of it. Because it just don't seem to want to stop this go around. And then every bit of it just feel kind of racist to me. Because it always does, because I'm black in America. So shit always do kind of feel racist to me. Because it's like, I don't know, it feel like family business. You know what I'm saying? And
when you say family business, you mean like the Smith family or like black people?
Black people.
Black people.
I mean,
and
I kind of feel like, and this is just my opinion, I do feel like Will Smith was wrong.
Oh, who the fuck is gonna argue this man wasn't wrong?
But at the end of the day, I kind of feel like, you ever see somebody do something and everybody else's reaction is just like, I don't give a fuck no more. Like the way like Jim Carrey saying shit and like Judd Apatow and almost killed him. Man, fuck that shit. Like he smacked him. That's it. He told him he told him keep his the way everybody else is reacting and keeping the shit going is just made it just double negative. It's just it's done now. Like I don't want like it's just too much.
It's like I said, I didn't expect it to keep going this long. But like I said, Box was telling us earlier that comedian Tom Segura is basically putting bounties out on niggas the way you described it. Like, if you didn't support Chris Rock, we riding on your ass. And I'm like, really, my guy? Really?
I mean, that was the way he said it, but like he said it in a way where it wasn't him that was doing it. It was comedians as a whole that were going to ride. Like, because like when Louis C.K. released a new special a couple months ago, I noticed that there were a lot of comedians that like all of a sudden were tweeting out like, "Oh man, Louis got a new special up. You should see it." People don't realize just how tight knit a lot of the comedic community is.
Yeah,
and so like right now, a lot of this isn't going away because for them, this is a personal attack on the art of being a comic rather than just a smack to Chris Rock. They feel like if they let this shit slide here with Will Smith, that this is going to empower other random ass motherfuckers to start coming up on stage when they're performing their shows across the country, because like everyone just let Will Smith do it and then go sit down like shit was sweet.
Whereas I simply don't believe that. Will Smith is Will Smith. $20 million a movie. Will Smith. Yeah, he could probably get up, smack fire out of somebody, and go sit back down. Your ass can't. You will get the bums rush by a door person, by a cop, by any number of things. So it's like you ain't Will Smith, and I think people know that, and so I just feel it's weird to be like, motherfuckers gonna ride on me.
And that's the thing, though. And before, I mean, like I listen to Mark Maron. I'm a big fan of most of his shows, and like he said, he said, I've been tackled before, just telling jokes. That's something like if you are a certain type of comic, that is something that you look out for constantly.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah, if you do crowd work, just like so Sunday I went to go see Reggie Conquest at Hilarities, and he was doing some crowd work. And one of the ladies up front just wouldn't stop talking to him. And he was just like, he started getting frazzled. Had her taken out.
Yeah.
Like, the show had only been going for about 3 or 4 minutes, and he had her taken out. And he was just like, I just couldn't do it. Not tonight. Like, I'm only here for one night. I gotta get through my set.
Yeah.
And like comedy is one of those things where it's like it's personal, but it's kind of like leave that shit at the door. Like someday, like like if you were on Def Comedy Jam, those people up front, you might get talked about that night. You wear a weird ass outfit, somebody gonna talk about you looking like a Wookiee. Something that might happen.
Yeah,
it's just part of it.
That and like. The Oscars has been going on for years. These people are literally brought there to do what he was doing. And he did it, like, the joke wasn't even, like, overly offensive. And, like, I was talking to my buddy before we started recording. It's not even known if Chris Rock even knows that she has alopecia. Because I can tell you, I personally didn't fucking know that shit until the shit went down. Also, it's been said that Chris Rock didn't write the joke.
Yeah,
that he was just reading it from a writer.
Thirdly, that's terrible. That joke was a comedy crime. Just want to put that out there.
But it was timid for the Oscars. That was the thing. Like, it wasn't like he was presenting an award. He wasn't even a fucking host.
Yeah.
He was just up there doing a little shuck and jive, and then he was supposed to like read off a winner. So this whole thing, like, this
and not to mention, you like Lunch just said, they're right up front. Of course, he's the crowd
work guy. He's the guy you gonna crack jokes at. Probably felt safe because it was his people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, so I've watched a couple things about this because the thing I found fascinating about it is just how split the public opinion is on this. Because like usually when shit like this happens, I feel like it leans one way or the other, but it's kind of like 60-40 on this, which I found really fascinating. And so like I've watched like a couple podcasts talk about it. I've watched some news clips about it and shit on YouTube. And one of the things that was brought up was Chris Rock apparently had said some jokes about Jada like back in like 2016.
Yeah, when she boycotted the Oscars. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the hypothesis was they were already mad at Chris Rock. And so like they like kind of were holding on to that shit, and then this kind of pushed it over the edge because if you watch the video back, when Chris Rock says the joke initially, Will Smith's laughing.
Everybody keeps saying that, but I'm also like,
because
I feel like
there's a delay.
I don't even know if he heard it right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the sound works in there. He might have been laughing at something just before that because the way video works, everything's on a kind of a delay.
Well, no, because the video clip I saw, he laughs, and then like half a second later, Jada rolls her eyes and kind of like tisks in disgust.
Yeah.
So it's like there was like a fraction of a second there between him laughing and her looking absolutely just like pissed off.
Yeah.
And then a couple seconds later is when he gets up and the slap her around the world. So it's like he saw her get upset, and it was just like, all right, I got to go do something about this. It was the weirdest like acceleration of sequences. Like there had to have been something there because it was such a minor joke, and for it to go from 0 to 100, it was just really odd.
I don't think that they was holding on to 6 years worth of Oscar beef. Like this motherfucker said something about me 6 years ago, because that just seems. Think about that.
Well,
I don't understand why people.
No, because in Will Smith's fucking acceptance speech, he talked about people talking about their family, and because they're famous, they have to take it and shit. Like this shit has clearly been weighing on their hearts ever since they started doing.
Weighing on his heart, but like I said, I don't think he's holding 6 years back Oscar boycott beef. I just truly don't. I think he's been going through it these last few years with all this August Alsina shit and so forth, and being the butt of jokes. His children being the butt of jokes, his wife being the butt of jokes, and at some point, probably like I said, just sitting there, probably just letting it all vibrate. You know what I'm saying?
And not to mention, he is about to win an award that he felt like he should have got a long time ago.
Yeah, he should have won for Pursuit of Happiness. He should have won for Ali. Should have won for a bunch of shit. The Oscars always have to give you a makeup. Yes, I'm sure King Richard is great, but he should have won multiple times before this, and it's always bullshit. The Oscars always have to they always have to give you a makeup Oscar. Just how fucking like.
It just seemed like to me, like for a while there. Honestly, this is just my opinion. I've heard this nowhere. I just feel like I don't feel like Jada respects this man. Like just for the last couple years, like it's always some new thing that she said that isn't like exactly tasteful, and then the August Alsina stuff came out. Like
now I like to talk. I like to get on that for just a hot second. This August Alsina shit. People always want to say that Jada all of a sudden said, "I'm fucking this dude," but rather it is August Alsina released that shit.
Yeah,
he put that shit out there. They did not discuss about this. This stuff was tucked tight. They kept to themselves that they were in a relationship that worked that way, and that's how I got down. But then this motherfucker was like, "I'm letting the bullet spray, and I'm gonna tell everybody that y'all got an open relationship." So then they're forced to say, "Yes, this is the case."
I agree with what you're saying. I think part of the problem was, I think in their open relationship, and like I don't know because I'm not in it, but it seemed like the open relationship dynamic for them was they let the other person know what was going on. And the problem in this situation is that Jada did not keep Will in the loop on the fact that she was hooking up with that dude.
Yeah.
And so Will found out from him, and then they had that entanglement talk thing on her show, which, like, the world knows all about that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention that was their son's friend, and that's how they met. But I'm just saying, like, other than that, I'm not even talking about like that situation. Like the fact that like their daughter wrote a note, like saying like talking about how she cried every night and wishes she was still with Tupac. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it just seems like to me,
it's been the oddest swing for me, like in perception, because I remember when I was younger coming up, they seemed like the perfect happy couple, like perfect happy Hollywood couple, you know. And then as the years have gone on, yeah, I'm not. I don't think it exists anymore. But when I was younger, I believed that fairy tale bullshit.
Yeah.
But you know, now that I'm older and like I've seen more shit happen, I'm just like, God damn, like you can't believe anything that you see in any of this shit, because you all like, it was like the same thing with like Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. I was like, oh, it's so nice that these famous people that found love and they seem so happy and everything's so perfect. And then it's like as you get older and you experience more life, you realize that people smiling in pictures don't mean that they're happy, and that everyone's hiding secrets and shit. You know, and it's like you would always see, you know, Will Smith was successful, popular, blockbuster movies, and she was doing her, you know, movies, and they had music. He had a music career, and I'm sure she did other shit that I don't know about because I don't follow her all like that.
She has a rock band.
Oh, does she? Good for her. And and so it's like, you know, they years and years of success, and they seemed happy and everything good. And it was like in the last like 6 years or so, it's like the kids started acting weird, and then more shit started coming out, and then like it's this weird, bizarro Kardashian type dynamic with their truth telling and letting all the facts, like Will Smith telling people that he cries when he comes or whatever is like, I didn't need to hear that, bro.
Oh shit! What a time.
That is super weird. I didn't need to know that lunch.
Oh, you hadn't heard that yet? Well, there you go. Now we're sharing it. Yeah, it's like they jumped into the social media world where they're just like, we're gonna get popular or get like. One of the podcasts I listened to, I never listened to the show before yesterday. It was Flagrant 2. Seems to be popular amongst people. I had never personally listened to it, but I listened to their slap breakdown show yesterday. And one of the things they talked about was how Will Smith was a huge star in the 90s, and he's had some hits here and there, but like he's also had like a handful of stinkers mixed in, and his like popularity was starting to decline. So he said it seemed like a couple years back that in order to kind of like reignite their star power, that they kind of dove into the world of social media, where Will was doing all the stuff with like the YouTube videos, and they like Jada got that Facebook show or whatever, and they were letting more of their personal information out there and everything. But it seemed like the more shit that they got, like they let the public consume, the weirder that they kind of seemed, and then the more people were kind of like, y'all are fucked up. And then so it's like where people used to like kind of revere them, now they kind of look at them almost like a sideshow act in some ways. Yeah. So it's like that they're almost like their intended goals had kind of like a negative effect.
I mean, yeah, social media is trash. We all kind of accept that. Social media is trash if you get to a certain level, and like them motherfuckers at the wrong level to be trying to play around on social media. It's weird. The Kardashian situation shit is always kind of weird too, because that's how we always find out that Tristan Thompson cheating, because somebody catches his ass in 4K and be like, "Oh, your man at it again, Chloe."
It tastes like mayonnaise.
Like I said, it was wildly embarrassing. Again, family business. Because black folk, we can't help ourselves. Sometimes we take it on like this my motherfucker, and I got to carry him. But I don't really do that, because I just don't. That motherfucker ain't shit to me. What does bother me is that's my man Questlove winning that fucking Oscar, winning his Oscar for Summer of Soul, having to have that be what led into that. So he didn't get the full. He can't get the full fulfillment of him winning a fucking. You know what I'm saying? Oddly enough, these Philly kids, man, can't call it. 2 Philly kids won fucking Oscars that night, and that should have been dope. That should be like such huge news for the city of Philadelphia, for black people in Philadelphia. And instead, it's like this motherfucker went the fuck off, smacked that kid from Brooklyn. The other kid from Philly won the award, but can't really do shit with it.
And that sentiment is kind of like one of the things I saw. Like, I saw like a clip. Wanda Sykes was on somebody's talk show, and she said that like she saw Chris Rock backstage later on. She said that he came up to her and he apologized to her, and she's like, "Oh, what are you apologizing to me for?" And he goes, "I'm sorry that this all happened. This was supposed to be your night, and now it's become this." He's like, "I feel so bad." She goes, "You didn't do nothing. Fucking, I ride with you."
Yeah. I do kind of feel like I'm not glad it happened to Chris Rock, but he was pretty much a fucking professional about it. Like, he had his reaction, and like he internalized it. He didn't lash out. He was just like, he smacked his shit out. He was confused too. He was just like, it was a perfection situation.
And I'm kind of shocked by that, because this is something else I learned yesterday listening to all this stuff. Apparently, Chris Rock has been in therapy for years now from all the abuse he took as a kid. Like, the show Everybody Hates Chris, like, it's based on his real life, but his real life was like amped up 10 more times that, where he used to get like the shit beat out of him and all kinds of stuff. So he has like PTSD from his childhood. So this dude running up on him on stage, and keep in mind, no one knew any of this shit like when the slap was going on. Like, I'm judging the slap purely based on the events of the slap time. Yeah. I'm not like retroactively applying information I learned in the days since on my judgment on that. But I'm just saying I could see how Chris Rock could be fucked up off of it if he's been dealing with like bullying type acts from his childhood, and now he's trying to be a comedian, which has been his career for the last 30 years. And now he's got this dude running up on him in like one of the most prestigious award shows in the world, and just smacks the shit out of him, and then just goes and sits down like shit's cool. And like, then he's got people applauding him. I like some of the people who were like applauding Will Smith for what he did, like in the show, like I heard like Denzel dapped him up, and like people were clapping him and applauding him for it. It felt kind of like when LeBron tweeted out how excited he was when the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson with all the shit that's been going on. It's like people applauding bad acts and not reading the room, although I guess in this case, the room was kind of like not the room you wanted to be reading, but Let
me flip you. I'm going to flip you the other way. Will Smith's book just came out recently, and a lot of people have been going through it, reading and listening to it. Will Smith grew up in a house of abuse. His father beat the shit out of his mom all the time. And in his book, he talks about how he felt powerless and terrible for having never been able to defend his mother against his father's abuse. A lot of people are like then pointing to that and saying like that he felt that he might have felt some kind of way like, I can, if nothing else, defend my wife against this abuse. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, though you don't know about Jada's situation with his autoimmune disorder, she has been very vocal about it and been talking about it on the show, and it's very public about it. And so though you didn't know about it, people do know about it, and she's been not dealing well with it. She feels terrible that she's losing her hair because, black women in their hair is a thing. That's always been a thing. And I know you're saying, well, she rocked the shorty, but still, man, it's like rocking the shorty is different than being forced to be, hairless.
Yeah. And that's why, like I said, like that, like I could see how there could be a misunderstanding there as far as like maybe some people thought that he was saying the joke because she has alopecia. Yeah, I was just saying that based on her previous hairstyles, it's entirely plausible that he had in fact had no fucking clue that she had.
For sure. And again, I'm not, and I swear to you, I'm not saying that like. Yeah, alopecia is not a good enough reason to do this. Just not. Yeah. But I get it. As for Denzel and people dapping him up, wasn't that from everything I've heard and seen video of? Will sat down, bawling his eyes out because he knew what he did was fucked up, and that he was approached by Denzel Washington, Tyler Perry, and Bradley Cooper. All went to Will to be like, "Bruh, it's okay. Not it's okay, but you feel me? Like, it's okay. Calm down, man. We good. We all right. We got this, and it's going to be okay. Only person I saw dap him up was my man Samuel Jackson. That's because Samuel Jackson was presenting. You know, what you gonna do? Not shake the motherfucker's hand when he get up on stage? I guess maybe, but not really. But like, and like you said, people standing up to give him applause is like, I don't think they were like, yes, you smacked that motherfucker tonight. I think it's more like
they thought it was fake. First of all,
some people did. Some people thought it was fake, but I've it's a couple people I follow on TikTok who are there doing like work on the carpet and shit, and they was like, "Oh, we figured it out real fast. That shit wasn't comedic." But I feel like they were applauding more along the lines. Well, yes, my man won a fucking Academy Award. Probably one of, I believe, like 6 black men to have done so. But also, I feel like they were clapping because they know he was going through it. I don't think they were trying to celebrate what he had did that night. I think they were like, this poor motherfucker. And they were trying to be supportive. And there's nothing never wrong with trying to be supportive. I hope. And in fact, I have heard that same Tyler Perry and Denzel did go try to talk to Chris Rock and make sure he was okay. Because people was like, nobody, I've heard this a lot too. Nobody went and checked on Chris Rock. I'm like, you don't know that. And in fact, again, it's family business. And I don't say that jokingly. I know what there are, people talk about the Illuminati, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, there's not really an Illuminati per se, but there are black actors and black acting groups that do work together and kind of try to mentor and mentee each other. So trust me, some of them black actors and that black actors definitely have probably had words with Chris Rock that night. And like I said, people don't seem to know about that. And so all of this to say, again, Tony was actually going to just avoid this, but I guess I couldn't when you think about it, because literally it's the lyrics of the show that I picked the week that was based on this shit. So come on, but
yeah, you kind of set yourself up for that one.
I did. Chris Rock did nothing wrong. Chris Rock made a shitty joke, and like you said, he didn't write it, but goddamn, that was a comedy crime, and it's awful. That's the only thing I can be mad at Chris Rock for telling a shitty joke. And that's just shitty to me. Some people might have thought that was the hilarious joke in the world. G.I. Jane 2. God, that was a terrible joke. But he ain't do nothing to deserve getting embarrassed on the national scene, on the international scene.
It was definitely an Oscar level joke, which
there were other shits went on that people were talking about other jokes that went on that night that probably would have got more heat had this not happened.
Oh, like the Amy Schumer, Kirsten Dunst one?
Yeah. So I won't call it, but and I guess Regina King was pushing up on some dudes and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know. Like I said, it's stuff that like would have been like, but
Regina King can push up. She could push up on me anytime. She is.
But I was saying, like I was saying at the beginning, box. My whole thing is motherfuckers is like basically like comedy about to mount up. We ain't taking nobody who was cool with Will Smith, and we gonna shit on Will Smith for the rest of his days. It's like, child, I guess. Again, that's really family business, and I know that maybe in their mind it's the family of comedians, but I'm like, it's different than the family of black people. Trust, and I guess you think you're doing something with that, but you're not really, and it just kind of makes you seem kind of like you're trying to make this about you and less about Chris Rock.
The thing about it though too is like I said though, they're not just writing against Chris Rock; they're writing against their fellow comedians that aren't standing up for Chris Rock. So they're going to start fucking cannibalizing their own because it's the brotherhood. Like they feel like this was attack on them as a community. It's weird for me saying community. It's occupation. It's their attack on them as an occupation, and it's almost like a union. If you don't fucking ride with the union, your ass is going to get fucking eviscerated.
Speaking of which, apparently. The restaurant where JayZ and Beyonce held their Oscar after party had people protesting, employees protesting. I don't believe they're unionized per se, but they were protesting. So it was a picket line. And so people are now mad at them for crossing picket lines and having a party at this place as opposed to whatever, even though they said people had requested that they not have the party there because that owner is on some fuckery most foul and so forth and so on. And again, everything about this, because that's how this country was built for so long, it plays as racial It's not intentionally racial. I'm not saying it is, but it always comes off that way because the people I see talking reckless be white people who talk reckless. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know me, I'm pro-union. Like, bro, we wouldn't eat Noreos on this motherfucking show until they did right. We wouldn't fuck with Kellogg's until they did right. This a pro-union shop. So I'm not saying JayZ and Beyonce were right for having a party there. I just got the feeling it is less that JayZ and Beyonce did a goddamn thing. They probably foot the bill, you feel me? But I doubt that they were involved with the minutia of hiring the people to run this shit.
People sometimes don't understand, like, celebrities don't always have their fingers into every fucking aspect of an event. They have people that are hired to be planners and to set things up and to hire people. Like, Jay-Z's not out here picking the caterer.
Yeah, but people want to believe that. They want to believe that Jay and Beyonce must have chosen the items that went into the gift bags that were given out that night. And I'm just like, sir, that just doesn't happen. They probably footed the bill and probably actually didn't foot the bill. It was probably a sponsored event and some company footed the bill, you know? Mm-hmm. So more
than likely they were paid to be there.
Correct. And so it's like the people I see, again, who are talking down on this thing all the time, it seems to be white men. I don't see a lot of white women. I did see Amy Schumer saying she is so fucked up off of this. And I'm like, were you? Because you really came out and made jokes. And I guess it's your job to come out and make jokes, but you don't seem too fucked up. But who am I to deny somebody saying they fucked up? That's her lived experience.
Yeah, her and Chris Rock are very close. Like, just like if one of y'all got smacked, I wouldn't be cool with that shit.
Like you said, if I'm in the business of getting smacked or putting myself in a position where I could get smacked, I think you would know that I'm in the business of potentially getting smacked. You'd be like, got you that time, didn't it?
I mean,
you could be upset about it, but I think you'd be like, got you that time.
You got carpal tunnel. You in the business of getting carpal tunnel. And I was just like, I came over to talk to you about it because you was talking about, man, I'm about to go back to work. I was like, don't you do that shit. You take care of yourself. Fuck this job. So you in the business of getting carpal tunnel, and I still had your back.
You still cared,
and I still care.
Yeah.
It's like the main thing about it is it's like I don't think are condemning Will Smith and Jada for being upset.
Yeah,
they're just condemning the way that they chose to react about it.
Correct.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying, and this is my own experience, my own thoughts on the process. It's not coming off as Will Smith and Jada shouldn't have done this. It's coming off as black folk is constantly violent. And it's reading that way across a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And it's not you doing that. And it's not I'm not saying Tom Segura is doing that. I'm saying it is people doing that. And I hate the way that makes me feel. Because then I can't, it's like I feel less inclined to be like, yo, Will Smith was wrong, even though he was wrong, because then I'm fighting up against racism. I'm always having to fight against racism in this goddamn country, and I'm sick of that shit.
I'm not denying that those things exist. I feel like sometimes, and maybe because I'm white, I'm naive or whatever, but I feel like sometimes it's like you go looking for it almost, because it's like in this case, I have not really seen. And like even it's not like I'm scouring the internet for every instance of everyone's opinion everywhere, but I haven't really seen any. Like, I expected it though. I'll be honest. I expected to go on Twitter and see some white people saying some shit like, "Oh, this is why we don't let black people into the Oscars," or some shit like that. You know, I fully expected that, but I honestly and truly did not really see that. But maybe that's because my Twitter feed's a little too curated these days. Yeah. But like I said, it was mostly just like people going like, how the fuck could they let Will Smith get away with this? From what I saw, it wasn't like, how could they let this black man up on stage and disrupt the sanctity of our white Oscars?
Yeah.
You know? But
now, that's another thing that's been wild to me is the Academy came out today. It was like, we asked Will Smith to leave and he refused.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then it came out shortly after, motherfucker, no, you did not. And then all of a sudden they stopped talking that talk real fast. It's like, bruh, you know you didn't ask him to leave because you knew he was going to win that night. That shit was already a done deal. We know what the votes were, so forth and so on. So you certainly did not ask him to leave. You probably should have. So also, like I said, that's like I said, that becomes another issue. It's like, don't lie on this man. Like, look, he has done enough to himself slapping somebody on national TV, yelling in the fucking stadium like a drunk person. He was not. I'm not saying he was sober, but that's what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the drunk dude at the Doughboys Detroit show we always hear about.
I don't even think it would have been that big of a deal if he just yelled out what he yelled.
Yeah, because they would have bleeped it out.
They would have bleeped it out.
Have y'all seen that SpongeBob? The SpongeBob one. That would have been perfect. That would have been. It still would have been the talk of the night. It still would have been the talk of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think people would have been like, at least the people who are really upset and condoning the slap, I think would have been more understanding if he had just yelled that after the joke. It's just strictly the strike that is like got a lot of people up in arms, you know?
Yeah. Also, so many people. I'm sorry, and I keep rolling right over you, bro.
It's okay.
I'm amused. It's like so many people. I'm like are basically telling themselves like, you clearly don't know what a fight is or what it is to be harmed. Because
I was actually pretty impressed with Chris Rock's ability to take that slap.
I think it was a whack ass slap. I mean, it seemed like it was cock far back.
It was either a really shitty slap or Chris Rock has got some experience taking them hits.
Let's respect it. Chris Rock probably got a steel jaw. Like you said, he had a fucking abusive childhood. Nobody want to be thinking about that shit all over again. Mm-hmm. But also, it's a slap. It's not like the Russian slapping federation where they knock motherfuckers out.
I know, but like he didn't like tumble, he didn't stagger.
Oh, he took that shit and then he took it,
and then he went right back to his set. Like, I mean, he was clearly stunned and little like and you know discombobulated and like shook, but like he like didn't flinch as far as like he didn't run, he didn't crumble. I honestly, that's why when I first saw it, I thought it was fake because the way that it came across on the video. It looked staged because, like I said, like it looked like kind of a weak hit, and then he took it like so effortlessly, and then snapped right back. I was like, "Oh, they must have rehearsed that."
And his
I find it interesting that he slapped him and didn't just come with a jab. Maybe he thought a jab would miss. I don't know. I just find who goes for the slap. I don't understand it. Mamas go for the slap, and maybe the reality of it is Will Smith was raised by a mama, so I mean, can't call it.
Maybe he's just very regal, you know, like
it is very much like it was like with Charlie Murphy. Everything is like what I thought.
It's like I challenge you to a duel kind of slaps.
Had he walked up there and pulled a glove off? Hey,
how dare ye?
Speak your piece, guy.
It's okay. I'm fine with that. I don't remember what I was about to say. I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, the person I'm most mad at is Jada.
That was the one thing about that Flagrant 2 podcast that like I felt kind of bad for, but then I also didn't. In that like they really tore into her and like were very disrespectful to her as a person. But they also were kind of like, you know, the one dude's like, I think she's a witch and she's got Will Smith under a spell because she just be doing whatever she wants to this man and he just keeps taking it.
I don't even like, because she's been talking about like her having alopecia for a while. And she's even had like statements saying like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say about it. This is her. This is like
that was another thing they brought up on that show.
Like, she said that like. And like I said, I do kind of feel like she was still upset about the previous comments about the Oscars. Like, here this nigga go again talking about me.
Oh, now a twist I hadn't considered. Here this nigga go again. Way more possible than I've been holding on to this shit for 6 years.
Yeah.
It's like, again, motherfucker, have you not made enough jokes about me at the Oscars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I brought that shit up like 20 minutes ago.
No, but yeah, and I explained how it sounded. I thought you were talking about these motherfuckers holding on to eat this whole 6 years, just waiting to get a hold of Chris Rock. No, a view from another perspective, of course, and that's okay. Just being that, no, it's not per se they've been holding on to for 6 years. It just maybe brought back up.
And like it opened up an old wound.
Small wounds. Thank you. If I couldn't, I think the turn of phrase.
A concussion, as it were.
That's what I meant by that. So it's
Fair enough. And
Anthony got us where I was trying to go earlier.
Yeah, I just wouldn't pick it up from you, and that's not your fault. I just had to have it reworded. That's all that is. And
it's like there was history there, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it wasn't like this was like an off the cuff one time incident. Like there may have been a little bit of bad blood this whole time, you know.
But like whenever people will just like you say in this podcast or whatever you listen to, whenever motherfuckers ride hard on somebody's spouse and they want to speak on it, like people used to talk wild reckless about Erykah Badu when she was with Dre 3000. And they kind of like started fighting back when she got with other people. You know what I'm saying? They talked a little bit wild when she was with Common, but by the time she got to J-Elect, motherfuckers was like, that's Erykah dating another rapper. You know what I'm saying? And I always, it always feels weird to me. We talked about it. When did we talk about that? When me and Ant was on the show, when we did a show just our by ourselves a couple weeks back, where we're not the type of show to just sit here talking shit about women. So we don't really carry that kind of vibe for us. But it do be a lot of shows out there that just really be talking wild records about women and like about, you know, if I was a man in this situation, I would do this, that, and the third. And it's like, bro, we don't know their situation. We know the pieces they've shared with us and only the pieces they share with us. I have no idea if Jada Pinkett Smith is truly, because like I said, her and Pac seemed cool, but they didn't seem tight like that. They seemed high school sweethearts. In life, they didn't seem to be kicking it like that. And maybe they were, and we just didn't know because motherfuckers play shit close to their chest. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, that's the thing. It always get brought up. The first jokes I saw was Tupac would have shot him. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. It's like it's
Tupac would have got shot again.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I just kind of feel like Will Smith has always his. I know from personal experience, like the kids would do something, and I don't be mad about it. But then my partner will be like, it's up like something that she gets upset with, and then I get upset because she's upset. So I kind of feel like
wait, I'm just trying to follow. So are you like retroactively upset at the kids for whatever they get into, or are you upset at her for getting upset?
No, I get upset at the kids.
Okay.
Not at her. How could I? You know, she's so perfect.
Man, you don't gotta lie. You know she don't be listening.
I mean, nobody listens in this house. It was.
I hope your kids don't listen right now. Give them a couple more years before they be hearing what we say.
I'm sure Anthony's listening. Like, damn right, Dad. He'll never be asleep. He'll never be asleep. But like I'm just saying, like they'll do something. Say they, you know, this is something they do all the time. Well, we tell them to wash their hands at least like 100 times a day. They will wash their hands, but what they won't do is dry them. And then they come touching you with their wet ass. I'm like, man, get the wet ass and get away from me. And then they touching the couch or touching their candles or any other electric device with wet hands.
Yeah. And
then, like, you know, then my partner be like, well, you know, go dry your hands. And I'm like, and then I'm upset because she's upset. I'm like, man, I told you I don't know how many times to dry your hands. And then, you know, if I yell too loud or too quickly or move, you know, one of them might cry like, oh, and then everybody upset. And I'm like, all right, y'all can have a Star Crunch. I'm sorry.
I would like to tell you that goes away when they get older. It does not, because we carry more weight than we know. And I constantly talk to my kids about trying my best to not say something that's going to be fucked up or cause them trauma later in life.
Yeah. Like,
and I'm going to fuck up, and I have fucked up. I fucked up very recently with one that was so bad. I was just like, I am so sorry. That was real fucked up of your old man, and I hope you accept my apology, but you do not have to accept my apology. I understand if you don't want to, because sometimes I just, you know, you slip. And so
I apologize to them more than I do my partner, and I need to work on that.
Okay.
She's already an adult, and she already has, like, I mean, she, of course, she wasn't raised by me or anything like that, and I understand that. But I apologize to my kids all the time, because I am a person, they are people, and I do like if I fuck up, I need to let them know right away because I don't want them to have this false sense of who I am and how the world works. Like I don't want them to think when another adult that doesn't love them as much as I do says something to them and that's not right that they can't be wrong because my dad's never wrong. Then how the other? No, I'm wrong too, and them motherfuckers wronger than me. So I want you to make sure that you know that people can be wrong, especially someone who buys you lots of toys and loves you very much.
So there you go.
I guess it sounds like you just need to buy your partner lots of toys.
I have. And literal toys. Like it's funny. She I guess one of her work backgrounds is I bought her an Orlando Magic Barbie doll from like 1995 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, like every year I would get her one of these vintage Barbie doll, NBA Barbie dolls. But it was like it came to when this Christmas came around, my son was like, "Yeah, let's get mommy one of those other Barbie dolls. That's all she should get." I'm like, I don't even think she like them all like that, and I don't think I should buy another one. He was like, you fucking up, but do you? And then, so I might have been off, but anyway, she had her meeting, and she mentioned that like she collects vintage Barbie dolls. I'm like, no, you don't. You just get them for free. For me.
What is collecting if not hand the collection? Like almost all my cable shit came directly from Daniel.
Yeah, I need like kind of like a log on what I've gotten you because I bought you a figure 2 days ago that just showed up yesterday, and I can't remember if I bought it for you once already or not. I'm starting to forget what I've gotten you because I've gotten you so much shit.
Well,
because I already started getting your guys' birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. That's like I got something for you. Obviously now you know it's a cable figure, and then I got something for Anthony that showed up 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like what was I about to say? Like one to rock and one to stock. He can just open up one and then
that was what I thought it was like. If it ends up being a dupe, he can keep the better one carded and then open the other one if he wants.
I mean, I was just saying because the kids would constantly on me about that shit. Like, come on, man, you got to unwrap. I got to be better about opening up my toys. Yeah. I'm never going to sell them, so they're not collectibles items to me. I know I'm saying box. I know you'll sell them, but I don't.
I don't sell the stuff that like I'm attached to. Like I have not sold a single Venom item of any kind whatsoever.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about opening this up.
Is that the new one or the old one?
The new one.
You want another one to go with it? I got it for free.
I mean,
so I'll explain. So I watch a lot of these like channels on YouTube, like the reselling channels and the thrifting channels and all that shit, and they were all talking about the Whatnot app. So Whatnot is like basically it's just live auctions where people like stream from wherever, like their store or their fucking bedroom or whatever, and like they have toys, sneakers, like all kinds of shit on there. And so lately, I got on there like last week, like late last week. So I've been on there for about a week now, and sometimes some of the people do giveaways because they're all trying to build up followings. Because like I don't know how newish the app is. I feel like it might be like around for like 2 years, but it's really they're putting more effort into promotion now with a lot of the YouTube channel partnerships they're doing to try and help push traffic in. So, but a lot of these people on there, they're trying to build followings. So when the app becomes more popular, they have more customers. And so what they'll do is they'll do giveaways where like you have to follow in order to enter the giveaway. So that Invisible Woman action figure, I won out of a raffle the other night from one of the giveaways. All I had to do was pay like. I'm not as lucky as some people I know, but I do win things from time to time. But so I
I've
got
known you for 10 years, and I can name like at least 4 or 5 times that you won some shit.
I know, but like I know a dude who wins like 4 to 5 times a month.
Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not saying I don't win shit sometimes, but I know some dudes who like some people who win shit like constantly. But yeah, I got T a cable figure off there the other night, like from the 90s line. I mean, I'm not hiding it anymore. I already fucking told him.
I already told him once.
Yeah, it's literally right behind me. I got you a pop figure the other night. That I thought you might like.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah. I won't spoil it. Then I won that action figure at a giveaway, and then I bought myself. I think I have it behind me. The original Talking Venom figure from the early 90s on card.
Oh man.
So basically those have like little records built into them, right?
It has this backpack on it.
Yeah.
And like it has buttons. This one the back the noises on are kind of fucked up.
Okay.
But the card is in like pretty good shape and shit. Like I only paid like $14 with for this like total with shipping.
Nice.
That is dope as hell. And this is called the WhatsApp app.
What not? I'll send you the link because I got like an affiliate link where like if you buy something, we each get like a $10 credit.
Well, I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to like, get you guys to like pyramid scheme with me, but like if you're gonna use it, but
I mean,
it's cool.
If I'm a pyramid scheme with anybody, it's gonna be one of y'all, right?
Hell yeah. But no, it's cool because like I was watching people like do like I watched like last week we were working. I had my phone right here next to me while I was working. I watched one dude's auction for like 5 hours. That's where I got that Venom figure from. He was putting up like because what they'll do is a lot of people will set like times for when they're going to go live, and a lot of the people will pre-list what's going to be in their auctions, so you can go through and look and see. Like sometimes they'll put up pictures too, but like. They'll like list like, oh, this is what some of the shit I'm gonna put up, and so like, but they don't necessarily go in the order that it's listed in the item listing. So like, you just gotta sit in there and wait for shit to pop up. But it's kind of like an Instagram live where you can type into a chat and the chat shows up on the screen. So like the people will go in there and they'll be talking in the little chat box that's like overlaying the video that the person's sending. And so like you can request certain items to like be put up for auction, and like a lot of the people will listen and they'll be like, all right, well I'll run that item after this one or whatever, It's like it's interactive. But like like there's like I said, like I was watching some dude the other day. His like account name was like 440 Kicks. So there's some dude around here in our area that's selling fucking. He's got like a sneaker empire because it was in his house and he had boxes of shoes behind him and he was selling like Yeezy slides and shit.
How much was he selling the Yeezy slides for?
So what they were doing with those was he was putting them up at $1 to start for like 1 minute, and then people were just bidding up until it got to a final price. So like it was like the ochre colored ones. One pair, because I watched him for like 15 minutes because he was giving away some shorts and shit, so I stuck around in there until the giveaway was done. The first pair that he put up went for like $161, and then the second pair he put up went for like $168. They were brand new. Like he had the pile of boxes behind him and everything.
Yeah, he made a pretty good profit, but a little bit below resale. So that's not bad. Resale for those are like $200, $220.
Yeah, like when they sold, I could tell that like he wasn't necessarily happy with for how much they sold, but he wasn't like he didn't look like he had just lost his lunch.
So yeah, like I said, they resell for $220. The retail for them are $50. So which is crazy.
Yeah, that's a hell of a markup.
Yeah, and there was like another guy that I found on there. Apparently, he lives out in like Lorraine, and he buys storage lockers and like like Storage Wars type shit. And so it was like I've watched him a couple times. The one night he was putting up all these shoes that he got from a storage locker. Apparently, some police officer didn't pay his bill or something, and the dude had like size 15 of like all these different shoes. It was like foam posits and all kinds of shit.
They defunded that policeman.
Yeah. Another night, like he had all these vintage T-shirts from like the 80s and 90s. Another night, he was putting up like vintage toys. So like I follow that dude on there now because it's one of those things too where it's like it's so random that sometimes I feel like if I just hop in on like a subject that I care about, I might be able to score a good deal. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck with that.
The last thing I want to say, then we can drop this Will Smith stuff. I don't want to take back what I said. I just want to clarify what I said a little bit about me being more upset by Jada. And like I wasn't there, I don't know, but I just kind of feel like a smidgen in my heart, like she could have grabbed his arm or something.
I don't know. I feel like he might have. Because I mean, do you think she knew this motherfucker was headed up the? Because the way it looked, like they were sitting stage. They were sitting stage.
He was
left.
not receiving an award at that time. I'm sitting next to you, and you're getting up at an event that you don't get up for.
Well, I mean, people go to the bathroom all the time there. Like they do. People do get up and go.
He was going towards the stage.
I know, but the way they were sitting, I feel like the stage is. I don't know if we did it like 3-dimensional. They sitting right here, and he good up, and he had to go this way and then hook around to get up the stairs. How was she to know he?
I don't know.
I don't know if she knew this motherfucker was about to get up and go handle business. And also, I can't put another grown person's responsibility on another grown person.
I understand that. I like I said, yeah. I do understand that. But something in my heart, in my mind, I'm gonna just say my heart because my mind's smarter than my heart. But like, grab me something because like from everything I heard, old boy was crying the whole time after that, pretty much.
Yeah, he was a literal wreck, and I know he felt embarrassed to his soul. I know he probably felt awful that he did that too. What I assume is a friend of his.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking when I tell you Black Hollywood really do run tight. I remember Ron Bunch is saying how he don't get invited to a lot of Black Hollywood functions because they look at him a little different. They don't really consider him a part of that clique, and how he said it kind of bothers him because he's not just as black as they are. So I know that these people run in similar circles, and I kind of like I said I truly think he feels bad. I truly think like I said now everybody's like this is a possible $200 million lawsuit. I'm like that's just
nah.
I truly don't think that's in Chris Rock's even his psyche to do that. I think they might need to sit and have some words, talk like grown men should. But I don't know what else to do with that. And I like I said, I don't like the way it skeeves me out because, like I said, I'm just you gotta understand, man. And Anthony and you kind of understand, you kind of know it because you kind of came this way too, man. You raised in the church, and you constantly raised with what we call respectability politics. Yeah. No matter what we do, black people want to. We always take it on our shoulders. Other black people shit. We probably shouldn't do that, but we do. We have a habit of doing it. And so I, as a black person, take on this thing. I'm like, goddamn, two of my favorite black people got into it on some bullshit. I hate it.
You guys really take it takes a village to raise a community kid kind of mentality to like the umpteenth degree.
Yeah.
I don't even say like we're the one of the reasons I'm not gonna say I don't like the neighborhood I live in, but like from what most people would think, where I grew up in was a quote unquote worse neighborhood, or somewhere most people don't want to live at. But here, where I live at in a mixed community, I don't talk to any of my neighbors. Like I remember, like the week I moved in, like I didn't have a hammer. I went next door to go borrow a hammer from the neighbor. They never answered the door. I mean, they got cameras and stuff, so I'm like, you could at least came to the door,
yeah,
or something. Like I had people who looked out for me where we grew up in. I had people who looked out for our house. Like if we weren't home, and my trash cans were brought to the backyard. Like my shit has been one time it was blown all the way up to the main street before, and I had to walk out and go get it. I'm like, that trash can look fucking familiar. Whose trash can is that?
I just think that there was a bigger sense of community for a lot of people back when we were younger, before we all got kind of onto the digital world. Now it's kind of like we've all forgotten how to like interact with each other.
Yeah,
it's like even now,
especially
like,
now.
Yeah, it's like when people that I don't know knock on my door, I don't answer it.
So that's been something I've been, God bless Will Smith and Chris Rock. Chris Rock in particular, because he was saying, I feel like he got some things he got to work on. We'll move on from that now.
Yeah, but, I feel like we're talking about something like it just.
I know that's
over with. We're on to something else.
Yeah, that's what I want to make. I just want to clean that up. But I feel like 2 years of this pandemic, in particular, and most of us working from home or something like it has pulled us out of what our understanding of what things have used, what things was supposed to work like. But one thing I have been trying to be better about, and my own fucking thing, is answering the phone. For years, I have avoided answering the phone. To be real with you, because I was worried it was like a bill collector or something. At this point, I really don't have no bills. That motherfuckers gonna be showing up trying to collect on my ass for. And also, in general, I probably shouldn't have even been scared of it to begin with, because it's like, what the fuck are they gonna say to me? All they can do is be like, you owe me money. Like, sure I do. so I've been real better about picking up my phone and saying hello. And they'll say, "May I speak to you?" And I'll be like, "May I ask who's calling?" And that always, because my mama taught me that, "May I ask who's calling?" And that always kind of seemed to fuck them up. And what's real fun is I did have somebody call about like a medical bill, and I was like, "Okay, let's get that knocked out right now." And it fucked them up. I could tell it fucked them up. They was like, "What? Nothing ever works this way." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no worries." I'm like, "Yeah, I owe for this, and my apologies for not getting to it sooner. Let's go ahead and knock this out right now and get it taken care of. And here's the card and here's the information, so on and so on, and blah blah blah." You know what I'm saying? That's me working on a little bit of me, because instead of being fearful that who's ever on the other line, I'm just like, fuck, let me answer it. Except for when it says scam likely. Because then I feel like my phone company doing me a solid and trying to tell me something.
And that's the problem, is most of the calls I get, like I would say 95 to 99 out of 100 calls I get are fucking scam calls. And they don't all come up scam call likely. Like, correct. I get a lot of fucking like robots from like companies that I don't even have accounts with let me know that like, I should come back, or, my college tuition can be consolidated. I'm like, I don't owe shit to anybody. Like, I don't need to consolidate anything. I got nothing to consolidate.
So I've been getting lately, the scam likely is always AT&T, DirecTV trying to sell me DirecTV. And every time I just go
all the time.
Yeah, everything I do, I just go in and I go in and block the number in my phone. You just do that.
Now, I do that too, and then I keep getting calls from different area codes. Like,
it just swoops around. That's just me. That's me doing my little piece of puzzle. Now, what I do get calls from that don't come to scam like them. I don't know what I can do about it. Is I actually have been getting calls talk about my car's extended warranty, and I answer the phone and they're like, "We want to talk to you about your 2019 Honda Fit," and I'll go, "I no longer own that car. That car was totaled totaled so many years ago," and they'll be like. Sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, but we can do something." I'm like, "Bruh, that car ain't here. Let it go." One person straight up hung up on me like I was lying to him. I don't fucking care. I can't care because, bro, you're not calling about my extended warranty because I don't have an extended warranty. I didn't ask for an extended warranty. It doesn't exist. And that car was totaled out a couple of years back.
Well,
Let it go,
the thing about it is a lot of these calls aren't necessarily intended to be what they perceive to be. Yeah. A lot of them are actually cold calls made to gather information for those scams that they run. Like you owe us $5,000 and you need to send us cash to this address or whatever. Like where they do the call centers, like in the Middle East.
The little phishing schemes.
Basically. They're there to gather info to find out which numbers actually are legit and like who are susceptible, because what they're doing is they're fishing for older people because they're gullible. They don't understand technology as much as the younger generations, and so they're easier prey.
Yeah.
I watched like a YouTube video. You remember the guy who did the glitter bomb
Yeah, I'm hip. I've watched a bunch of some of his stuff. Yeah,
he did a glitter bomb episode where he found that people were scamming elderly people out of their money.
yeah.
So he set up glitter bombs. So he got in touch with one lady and told her what was going on. She'd already mailed the money. So he, funny enough, he cased out the location to where they were told her to send the package. Mm-hmm. Got in touch with the FedEx driver ahead of time. Like he called, they talked to FedEx, like they got the police involved. Yeah. They got the package from FedEx that the lady had sent, so they recovered her money, and then they swapped it with one of his glitter bombs that has like the GPS tracking and the audio recording and everything. Mm-hmm. And so what they did was they set up the drop address for the package for an Airbnb.
Yep.
And then they cased the Airbnb with the lady who like is hired by like the organization to be like the retriever.
The mule.
She's the mule picking up the package. Then they got her like on the voice recording in the car talking about how like they work in pairs and like she was calling her cousin how about one person didn't show up that day and yada yada yada. So then they dropped the package off to like the handler, which is like the manager for the area, because they have them set up into regions, and then one person manages the region. And then so that person took the package back to their place, and they're supposed to open the packages on camera to the people overseas so they can see that the money is there. Then that person is instructed to take so much out of the pile for their cut and then get the money over to them. So obviously this person opened a glitter bomb, which, coated them in glitter, which means when the cops showed up, they were very clearly the person who was, involved. And he busted up a sting, like a whole operation from this.
What's fucked up there is like it initially went to a house and the dude brought the package in thinking it was a package to him. And it wasn't to him. It was because they used the Airbnb addresses because it's not their real address. And like he has an Airbnb, you know what I'm saying? He lives there, but he also lived there. And it was like, I saw that one. It was wild that's what's going on. And like you said, they constantly out here trying to fish me. I constantly get one that says your Fifth Third account has been hacked. Guess what I don't have? Guess what I've never had, in fact. So I every time I see it, I'm like, that's real impressive because I certainly don't have an account there and never have. So I hear you, Box. Like I said, like oftentimes it is my whole point being, I've been trying to be better about picking up the phone. I do talk to my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? In most situations, I do not know my neighbors' names as well as I should, but
I have no fucking clue what my neighbors' names are.
Yeah,
so, I've met them. I've shook the dude's hand. He told me. I just don't fucking remember it.
Yeah. Back to that point. What I was saying about the close knit community is that except for the one dude that live around here, all the black neighbors they all wave. They all say hi.
Yeah.
Like some of the other colored neighbors, they don't. And I've been living over here for fucking 8 years. Yeah. I've lived like my one next door neighbor. I've been living over here 8 years. Like the only time they say hi to me, or one time, is when I brought them their mail, and I made sure I brought my son with me because they oddly enough they got cameras and stuff on their property since we moved in.
Yeah.
So I was just saying, like, to make a long story longer, it's like, black people, even when they don't know each other, they try to take care of each other. It is a real thing that like we try to look out for each other because it's like nobody else is going to do it. Even though like we might not be great neighbors, but we're good enough neighbors where we're not stealing shit off your porch. We good enough neighbors where like if something blowing around in your yard, I'm just not going to leave it there just because it ain't mine. Yeah. So it is part of ingrained in us. Like, I see that this person is black, I will take care of it. If I see this person is cool, I'm going to try to take care of him.
Yeah, exactly the case. My neighbor who y'all know, my direct neighbor who used to babysit my kids came through today was like, "Hey man, I think I got an idea how to fix that ditch in your driveway." I'm like, "Oh, cool," because I actually have been thinking about that as we get closer to spring. You're like, "I got a plot, man. I'll let you know. I'm gonna come through with these things." I'm like, "Cool," because like I said, I got cool neighbors. I've been in this house for 15 years as of this year. So I mean, it just is what it is. So I have no. That's another thing. It's like I wish I knew. So like my direct next door neighbors on either side of me, I know their names. The next set down, we wave to each other every time we see each other, but I don't know their names and I feel shitty about that. Like when the kid's mom died, that dude came down to my house to offer his condolences to me. Like, y'all don't even know you, but I know you. You know what I'm saying? That's dope that you did that. You feel me?
That's the thing too. Like, I will wave if they wave.
Yeah, for sure.
I've the one lady down the street where Smokey used to hang out. Yeah, she's out front when I drive by. Part of it is because I don't leave very often anymore. Yeah. But the times when I've left, I've waved and she's waved, and I don't know her name.
Just go, "Hey, Miss Parker."
Well, part of it too is like I live on a real quiet street for the most part, so like people aren't really all out here like that. Like the family that's like directly across the street, their kids have started to play in the street a little bit when it got warmer. So that's going to be an adjustment for me because now like I'm not used to like kids playing out there and making noise and shit. And, like I was watching TV the other night and I hear like rabble rousing going on out there, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, I'm the old man now, over here disturbing my peace and quiet. But it's not like a lot of activity on my street, so I don't get a lot of practice with being like the cordial neighbor. Yeah, and then I don't really have like handy skills to offer a neighbor an assistance. I hate doing yard work. I'm not handy with tools and shit. Like I can make it happen if I watch enough YouTube videos and shit. But I can't go over there and be like, "Oh man, I see that your gutter's hanging a little bit over here. Let me help you raise it." Like that's not a service I can provide.
I can fix that.
You true.
Got a broken heart. I can fix that too.
Like I said, I've been to Box's house all times of days and all types of times and so forth and so on. I don't think I've ever seen his neighbor.
Yeah. Like the old man I see now, like him and his wife, because like I'm home working and I can see them through the front door. They literally leave at like the same time every day in the morning and come back like an hour later. It's almost like they're like the people who like were retired and would go have like breakfast at McDonald's every day. Just they go hang out with community. But like they literally leave around the same time every day and come back. Like it's on a schedule. Like they're doing something.
And I feel like I don't think I've ever seen anybody even in your neighborhood. And
it's a weird thing because like I feel like almost every person except for like a few people are just all older people, and not like old that they're about to die, but old enough that's like, well, I'm done with that part of my life. Me and Betty here are just piddling around the house.
I feel like a lot of the people that live around me are like retired.
Maybe that's just what it is.
A couple of the houses I think are like kind of empty because like the trash cans on the neighbors like diagonal. They never took them in last week. And like I saw people like shoveling there like back in the winter who like don't live there. So I'm thinking like it's just a property that they like maybe like their grandparents had or something. Yeah. And like maybe they like passed away or moved or something. So I don't think anyone actually lives in that house currently. They just said they come and maintain it. Then my neighbors, I don't know like if the daughters live in there or the moms live in there, like because I don't really ever see anybody. I hear the dog from time to time, but like I don't really see anyone come and go or nothing.
It's the dog's house now.
Man, I fucking hate that dog. Little yippy fucker.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like for me, like if you go out on my street like in the evening time, there ain't nobody around. Like maybe those kids will be around now because they're a little older. They're old enough to be playing around in the street on their own type age. But like I don't like the older lady that lives like diagonal that I can see when I'm working through the window. Like she'll be cutting her grass and shit like in the afternoon or whatever, but I don't ever see her out in the evening. Like the neighbors over here that I've been talking about, like they do all their shit in the morning, evening time, like afternoon time. They don't do shit in the evenings. And then like most of the people out down the street, like I don't ever see them. Like there's so many houses on my street where I've never seen a single soul.
Yeah, that's definitely the case here too. I like when the school bus come. I wonder. I mean, because we're not, me and my partner aren't old. I just wonder, like, what do they think we just don't do nothing? Because we be there in the morning when Emery leave, and then we be there most of the time. I'm there when he come home. So I'm like, do they think we just don't do nothing? We Section 8ing it over here. I don't know what they think.
And for me, like, I mean, maybe some of them used to see me leave for work. Now I don't leave my house sometimes for weeks at a time.
Yeah. So, like I said, like it was already quiet around your neck of the woods, and it just got quieter. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you, and I hear you, man. It's just how interesting as it goes on. I realize standard show fares. I should have given y'all a breakdown of what we were going to do this week, but the reality of it is I didn't pull any news once again this week. I just was like,
Will Smith and Chris Rock was big enough news.
yeah, that did carry the day, but I just wasn't feeling like I said. Guess what? Ohio still hasn't figured out their congressional districting, and all of a sudden New York found out their districting is being challenged in court too. So I was like, what a man to do. So
what am I to do?
So, like I said, it's just like there's no real news. Like I said, COVID is actually down right now, so there's no COVID news that I can pull out. I mean, for now, COVID is down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it will always be, but
me and my partner were just talking about that the other day. That's also skewed, especially in Ohio, because they're not reporting it as much as they were before.
Well, we still get a weekly report. So today's the day. The weekly report comes out on Thursday. So, but I'm not saying whatever, but
so
the reality of it is we've gotten to a point now where enough people have actually caught COVID to develop some sort of a bit of immunity. Enough people have gotten vaccinated to give themselves some immunity. And so it just kind of is working itself out in that regard.
But so then the other factors are we've had back and forth cold weather where people aren't going out. Yes. Then we also have the thing about like kids have been on spring break for like staggered weeks. So like it's skewed to a point like we'll like tomorrow. So it was nice today. But then it's getting cold right now. So like people it's going to be staggered and it's going to be skewed, but I guess that's only some like really I guess I'm concerned about with having little kids who
can't get vaccinated yet.
Yeah, who can't get vaccinated yet. So
yeah. And that is apparently where a lot of people are right now. A lot of people who are concerned about COVID are people with younger children because should be a concern. They're the ones who are carrying COVID more now. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones who are bringing it home.
Yeah,
and also they are the ones who could be victimized by it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, your feelings are legitimate and honored and as such. And so don't think I'm just saying fuck COVID right now. Who knows? Any moment now, something else will sneak up. They announced that over 50s can get either they announced it or they're working toward getting so over 50s can get an additional booster shot. And if they give an additional booster shots to anybody, that means they will eventually be giving a booster shots to everybody. And I've been trying to be good about masking up when necessary, but not masking up always. Because again, I'm still I got all 3 shots, and I'm still within my 90 days post having been infected. Although that is getting close to wrapping up here, but it's just like I said, it's wild out here. But then it's not so wild out here, and like I can't do nothing about Ukraine because that just is what it is. And so, like I said, bro, the news has just been so repetitive as of late that I can't even bring you anything interesting or unique or a take that you probably haven't heard from 60,000 billion other people. So you don't want that from me anyway. So I just like I said, I didn't pack any news in this week, and I'm
still John Stewart got it covered.
Yeah, and
Just call this one a freestyle.
It is a freestyle, and I like when we freestyle. Like I said, I'm not, no joke, man. Last week's show, to me, I don't know if y'all, if you listened to it or whatever yet, was a really good show. I think we really did well. I think I liked our points of discussion. I liked our what we discussed and how it got down. And so I'm not to say this isn't a great episode, because I actually think this is a good episode as well. But I was like, that ended up being a really cool episode that I actually was listening to. And I don't really, a lot of times, I listen to the show as a man who has to edit the show, but oftentimes don't listen to it as a listener. And today I was actually listening to that show as a listener. And I was like, we did good. And,
I was just talking about, like, I do like listening to the shows I'm not on. I do listen to the show regularly, but I like listening to the shows I'm not on because I'm not on it. And who doesn't like listening to a conversation with friends?
Yeah, for sure. So, once again, my man Mike Fowler was like upset with Box because the way he described whatever that cartoon you saw was.
Oh, Jutsu.
Yeah. So I'm like, eventually, I'm just gonna have Fowler on the show. I in general want to have Fowler on the show. I think he'll make a fun guest. But just so y'all can hash this out, Box. This beef with this man you don't know or give a fuck about. Oh my gosh.
I feel like I'm planning on watching the show because it's on HBO Max. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I mean, though. Well, you know how. These things we will keep it.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another On the Road with the Real ODP. You notice I totally blanked there on what to call it, huh?
I know, we have no idea what to call that.
I'll look it up.
Like another episode,
Tara called it something I liked. That's why.
Installation of.
Yeah, I like installation too. Installation's good. And we are going to talk about our little trip.
He's gonna do it again, guys.
What'd I do?
You're gonna do it. New Orleans.
Alright, I'm going to talk about our trip to Mobile, Alabama for some Mardi Gras. And a little trip to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
We had such delicious food.
What was your favorite?
Favorite food?
Yeah.
Restaurant or type of food?
Either.
That thing we...
Oh, the shrimp po' boys?
The shrimp po' boy. The way it was just seasoned was so good.
Oh my gosh, they put cucumber on it, which was delightful.
I usually hate cucumber on a sandwich, but I liked it on this sandwich.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good. And the red beans and rice was a little bit of smokiness. And, but just right.
Yeah, that was a really, really good restaurant. Do you remember what it was called, or have no idea?
Oh, God, it was... Damn, I can't remember.
I have no idea.
Alright, well, we can't give them a shout-out, and they ain't paying us anyway, so screw them. The boys killed the gumbo.
Oh my gosh, they ate an entire quart by themselves. Did you even get a taste of it?
I got a couple spoonfuls.
Oh, yeah, I only got a spoonful. I didn't get even a bowl.
And, and I also enjoyed the muffaletta. Muffaletta is good. My wife, she doesn't like cold cuts, but...
no. I like the...
She liked the sandwich.
I like the olive tapenade on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part of the muffaletta I like. Well, no matter how it's spelled, it's pronounced muffaletta.
How did I say it?
Well, you said muffaletta, but...
Muffaletta.
They spell it a whole bunch of different ways. Like, there's muffaletta... Like, I don't know, Moffat. I don't know.
Muffaletta.
There's a lot of things that pronounce weird.
For those who don't know, muffaletta it's a sandwich on... Is it on French bread? It's on French bread, right?
No, it's like Italian roll.
Oh, it's Italian roll. It's got this, like, olive puree spread upon it.
It's olive tapenade.
It's olive tapenade.
Tapenade.
Tapenade. I'd never heard of tapenade, so I call it puree. And it's cold cuts.
It's like fried salami.
Yeah.
And ham.
And there's some cheese on there. I think it's Swiss.
Oh yeah, it's good.
It's a good sandwich. I would recommend it.
I wouldn't. I don't. I just like the bread and the olive. What did you call it? Puree.
Puree.
It sounds like baby food.
You call it tapenade.
Like it's.
Well, I don't know if babies will eat olive puree, but
Anybody got a baby?
we've had 4. We never gave them olive puree.
No.
But we started off in Mobile, Alabama,
We left the sunny old state of Florida.
and headed to Mobile, Alabama, where we were there just in time for Mardi Gras. And it was perfect because Mobile, Alabama, although New Orleans is famously associated with Mardi Gras, Mobile is the birthplace of Mardi Gras.
That is true.
We went there. We had to catch the parade.
Well, there were so many parades, but our kids were being really bad, so we only did one parade.
Yeah, we did 2.
We did 2?
Yeah, we did 2 in a row.
That was the same parade.
Oh yeah, but still. Twice
doesn't-
the chance to catch beads and a sword. It was more family friendly. There was some debauchery and some.
Yeah, for
And
as
some
much
drunkenness.
everyone kept saying it's so family friendly, it's so family friendly. I wouldn't call it necessarily family friendly, but like family friendlier than
Well, there was no flashing for beads, so
there were
no-
some boobs
There were? I didn't notice them. Why didn't you point them out to me?
for obvious reasons.
Okay.
But also, you were like horrified at that girl wearing lingerie behind you.
Okay, I'm getting crotchety old man, I guess, because it's like she should be.
Where are her parents? She should have clothes on.
And I'm terrible at telling ages nowadays. I saw a girl drinking a beer. I'm like, she's old enough to drink that because she looks like she's 12, but she had tattoos, so she must have been over 18 at least.
Or she had really bad parents.
Or I have really bad parents. They let her drink and get tattoos.
Because, I don't know, 12 seems like a not appropriate age to be.
They're all little girls to me.
That sounded so creepy.
Why? That's just also that's the opposite of creepy.
That's like super creepy. They're all little girls to me.
No, I didn't see
Sound
it
like that Buffalo Bill.
He makes women into dresses. It's not the same thing.
It is a little different, you're right.
Yeah. I've said this on the show to the guys, like, I would never date again if we split up unless I have to make you jealous, and then I'd have to date someone in their mid-20s.
I don't really know what I think about that.
Well, you shouldn't divorce me, and I won't have to make you jealous.
Wait, why am I divorcing you?
Good
Are
question.
you going to give me a reason to?
I hope not. I hope
Well,
I never
then I
do.
think you should not give me a reason to, and we won't have this problem.
Okay.
So,
Problem solved.
obviously, this is your fault,
Hey.
like everything else.
And it was pretty cool. The floats were pretty cool. I mean, I imagine it's bigger in New Orleans, but
We only did one parade. We did not take the whole day off on Fat Tuesday. We really, you guys have been with us since the Florida Insanity Tour. And we were moving every couple of days, and we were just so tired. So we're trying to make our way to Houston, where I have family, and we're going to be able to get a couple of things done.
slow down a bit.
Yeah, with the RV and with our schedules and stuff like that, and try and figure out, like, we knew Florida was going to be hard. Florida was hard. Now we're tired.
Yes.
So, well, in order to get from Florida to Texas, you have to go either the same way that we came when we started this trip and went down south, or we can go completely out of our way and go see things we didn't already see. So since we was Mardi Gras, we decided to go to the Mobile, saw the parade, but kept it like low key.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
then, we were only there for 2 days. We went and saw the Porch Creek Indians.
Yes, that was something I recommend you do if you're anywhere near that part of Alabama. See the first people of Alabama.
Yeah, that was
Porch Creek Indians.
The Porch Creek Indians are a really unique group of Native Americans. They, I don't know, like how much background you guys need or want, but anyway, so there was, a big war among the French and the Spanish for this territory, and the Creek Indians, or Muskogee in their native tongue, it's called Muskogee. The Creek Indians, they had their land in between Spanish Florida and French Louisiana, and present day Alabama. So they were left alone. Nobody really bothered with them. Nobody kind of pushed them out or stole their land. They were really progressive thinkers, and they were good tradespeople and good negotiators. So they fared very well up through, the early 1800s. And then America started to kind of wheel and deal for those territories, for Florida and, the Louisiana Purchase and those kinds of things. And they wanted the land. They wanted to build road. They built road. They started to take over. And the Creek Indians got mad. They call themselves Indians. It's not a racial slur.
I was about to say that too.
Yeah, they call themselves Indians. That's their given name, and since that's the name that they call themselves, it's what they prefer to be called. So, specifically to the Porch Creek Indians. Porch Band of Creek Indians.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. So we went to go visit them on their reservation, which is the only reservation in Alabama that is, a sovereign territory, which I thought was pretty neat, because most other native populations were forced out of their homelands on the Trail of Tears, and after all those ugly things happened.
Yeah.
So when America came into the game, they started to take over the area, and the Creek Indians kind of split into two groups. There were the progressive people who were already starting to assimilate and work with all of the newcomers, and then there were the people who were really stuck in the old ways. And they got into a big war, and the people who were stuck in their old ways, they were fighting against the newer people who were assimilating to I guess colonizer culture.
Yes.
So they got into a big war, and then America, that's all it took was America, pushed out the Creek Indians. They had said, bye, you got to go on the Trail of Tears. So they took over their land, they lost the war, they pushed the Creek Indians, the Muskogee Indians on the Trail of Tears, and if you look, Oklahoma has a Muskogee reservation set aside. But you know what? The folks who assimilated to the newcomers got forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew they were there. Nobody knew they were there until what, the 60s?
Pretty much.
Yeah, when the Jim Crow laws were really kind of getting ugly.
Yeah.
And they were not allowed to let their children go to school anymore, or not allowed to let their children go to school with the white kids.
Yes.
And that is when they pushed really, really hard for reservation status and all that. So anyway, it was a lovely conversation to speak to the living descendants of the forgotten Creek Indians, and that they were, basically on their homelands. They weren't exactly where they had come from, because they had moved to be near that road.
Mm-hmm.
Are you asleep?
No, I'm here.
Oh. Did I bore you to death? Jeez.
No, you know more about this than I do. All I like to do is just chime in once in a while. Go. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we had this discussion. We spoke to the people. They have a beautiful museum it's small, it's perfect, but like we had this wonderful conversation about how hard it is to live like a dual life in America, and how hard, and I mean any person of color, any person with any kind of like I guess, I don't know, how would you say?
Marginalized person.
Yeah, any marginalized person understands how hard it is to live in a culture where like the system doesn't really set you up for winning the way it does, you know, cis hetero white Christian male. You know,
Well, the person who built the system, of course, is going to benefit most from the system.
absolutely. So we talked about that. We talked about this whole idea, and I am very curious. I think when we're going to go to Oklahoma and visit the different reservations and speak to the different indigenous nations, but I am very curious. So he talked about how, like, for us, it's kind of like with cell phones. Like 15 years ago, think about how different our cell phone interactions were.
Yes.
You know, like completely different. And how you don't even really, you've got a computer in your pocket, you've got access to everything, it's right there, you know, you've got your camera, you've got your phone, you've got your text messaging, all the things, the internet, it's all right there in your pocket. And like 15 years ago, it was so different. And so that's kind of how he like was explaining the road and like the newcomers, where like, you know, like little by little, like things change, and then all of a sudden you look and it's like 15 years later and you're like, oh shit, our whole culture has changed. Now, is this for the good or for the bad? Who's to say? You know, obviously, like there was a war and history took place, and some people stayed and they were able to stay in Alabama, and now they have the Porch Band of Creek Indians. But they were just, it was such a good conversation. It was like food for my soul. Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. I love about stuff like that. You know, the bravery of a single man who stood in front of the bus full of white kids and told that bus driver, you're going to take my you're going to take my daughters to school. They're going to learn when they weren't allowed to. And
my gosh.
And that action eventually led to a court case, well, that was won and got them the right to their education.
Gosh, it just makes, like, you're girls.
Oh, well, I didn't say...
I mean, no, I'm not saying that there isn't bravery there. I'm just saying, like...
That'd be scary for those little girls, too, yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, we learned a lot. The museum was lovely. It was so good. The kids learned a lot.
Yes. I learned why they call dollars a buck.
Why is that?
Because buckskin was the form of
currency.
Thank you. Currency was what I was looking for.
It took 4 buckskins to buy a gun, or
like,
you know, $3 to buy a pound of flour. I don't know.
So that's why we call dollars bucks. If you didn't know,
there you go.
If you don't know, now you know. As the great late Christopher Wallace said. And
who's Christopher Wallace?
Mickey Smalls.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No.
Well, now you know. If you don't know, now you know.
I guess there you go.
And so Mobile was nice for that. And Alabama was not a place I probably wouldn't settle down. I didn't think about it much when we started this trip. But it was really nice. The weather was lovely.
Yeah.
The people were kind.
I think that if we had to settle anywhere,
based on where we've been so far,
it would definitely be on the Gulf Coast.
Yes.
Which, like, hurricanes, right?
Yeah, we got to worry about hurricanes. We don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want hurricanes. So we are choosing to continue on. Yes. We're not going to settle where we've been.
Yeah, and then it was on to New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans was amazing. We got to spend 5 days there?
Yes. And
4 days. No, it
was 4 days.
was a 5-day trip, and then it was 3 solid days in the middle, and then 2 travel days on the end.
Yes.
So 3 solid days in the middle. We only spent 1 day
in the city of...
in the city.
Because it's a lot when you have 4 kids, and it's a big city.
Well, and it was like on a weekend. It was the weekend after Mardi Gras.
So it was very busy. It was hard to find parking. We eventually found parking next to this cemetery, this famous cemetery, who had
Madame Laveau.
Madame Laveau, the voodoo queen.
Yeah. So
I don't know if that's a proper term, so I'm trying to be careful here. Voodoo is an actual religion. It's not some source of 80s horror that we've seen so much of.
Yeah, we made the kids watch a documentary about it.
Yeah.
And Gabe too.
And no, I needed to learn. I need to get some of the stigma off of voodoo. And there's no voodoo curse. So we didn't get cursed while we were in New Orleans. And I don't know. It's just she was also a Catholic. She was also a devout Catholic, or she wouldn't have got buried in the cemetery that she was. And her spirit means so much to so many people that people still ask her to cast spells and magic for her. Yeah.
Oh, and then who else's grave was in that cemetery?
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
He's not dead.
He's not dead, but he loved New Orleans so much that he bought a little plot so he could be buried there.
Oh, yeah, he did it. It was very expensive. Very, very expensive to be buried in.
Well, he's got Nicolas Cage money, so he's okay.
But this is the part that blows my mind. So the tombs are all raised in these old cemeteries, and this is New Orleans Cemetery number 1. The very first one. Madame Laveau's there. Nicolas Cage buys a plot here. It's a pyramid.
Yes.
Everyone else is a rectangle. His is a pyramid. It's white, pristine pyramid. Mm-hmm. And he pays, what did they say he pays? Like $10,000 a month?
Yeah, the upkeep on it because women keep kissing it because they love them some Nicolas Cage.
There's so much lipstick on it that he pays like $10,000 a month to get it cleaned.
Why are they kissing it? He's not even in there yet.
Why would you kiss it if he was in there?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So that was fun. New Orleans was fun. We ate some good food.
We talked about the food.
Ready? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Muffalata.
Interesting people. We had a particular story.
This is a good story. I feel like you should save this one for a special episode.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to save this one. But that was the food. That was the Mardi Gras parade.
Marty.
I got it right the whole episode until then.
How do you say Marco Polo?
Marco Polo.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that. All right. From our family to your family.
Ooh, that's a good sign off.
We love you, and we will talk to you next time.
Love you.
From the road.
From the road.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
We've done what we've done. We've talked what we're going to talk. So I might as well just walk you on down to Reddit. Let's get into some Mammoth Assholes. Then we'll talk about some TV shit I want to discuss with you guys anyway. So we'll walk that walk. Each week we head to the mean streets of Reddit over to the subreddit Am I the Asshole and decide if these motherfuckers is assholes and or not in our minds. One of these goes up on TikTok. We do pretty good over there. Not great. I'm not saying I'm whatever. I'm not pulling hundreds of thousands down like some motherfuckers do. But I also don't buy it. But I ain't paid for it yet. And some of the motherfuckers might be paying for TikTok advertising. I ain't did that yet. But I'll consider it. But this week's selection is, am I the asshole for having a vulgar and unprofessional nickname? Am I the asshole for refusing to pretend my partner is my roommate around my nieces and nephews? Am I the asshole for showing up to a PCA meeting in a dress, 23 female? Question mark. Am I the asshole? You know what? That is something I don't see oftentimes. People throwing the. Well, no, I guess as I go back through it, everybody does add the question mark, except for this one right here. Am I the asshole for not eating my meal at my cousin's wedding because my dad changed my meal selection?
Damn
No
you,
question mark
Dad.
there. Am I the asshole for kicking out my girlfriend's family for tying up my dog? Question mark there. I think the olds put question marks and the youngs don't. Am I the asshole for getting upset at my boyfriend for posting pictures of himself and his sister when they went on a road trip together?
Oh, you're my sister.
Which of those speaks to you, if any?
I kind of
don't
want
know.
like. All right, go ahead, Lance. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I'm indifferent on all of them.
I was just about to say I kind of like the one about the partner. Not, but I kind of want to hear that one a little bit.
Okay.
But I also want to hear the one about the food, about the dad switching the food.
Well, bro, we are running a pretty tight ship right now, so I think I can pull 2 out, which means you'll actually get 3 on this show. Check you out. Got an extra one. I'm down a man, so you get an extra. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to pretend my partner is my roommate around nieces and nephews? My 30 female family is very religious / homophobic, but they've gotten to the point where they are polite to my partner, but you can tell they still aren't thrilled. I am bisexual and married to a woman, 33 female. I think they're still hoping I'll end up with a man, but whatever. My sister married into an equally homophobic / religious family, so her husband is equally as intolerant. He speaks to me and my partner as little as possible, and when he does, he gives one-word answers. My twin sister, 30 female, and brother-in-law, 35 male, gave me the condition that in order to be a part of their kids' lives,
What?
I must pretend my wife is my roommate, as they don't want kids to think this is okay. Roll the eyes emoji. They still believe sexual orientation is a choice. This breaks my heart, but I refused. I will not tell anyone how to raise their kids, but I refuse to pretend I'm someone I'm not, and I refuse to treat my wife as if I'm ashamed of her. I told them and my parents, if we cannot be ourselves as any other married couple, then we will not attend any family gatherings, and it's a shame the kids have to miss out on 2 awesome aunts because of their bigotry. Am I the asshole? I think you wrote this knowing you're not the asshole.
So this is a Reddit humble brag.
I don't think that's the case, but I think they know that who's going to call them an asshole but a bigot? But you know what I'm saying? Like, no, you didn't do anything wrong here. You fell in love with who you fell in love with.
Because you knew you were right. and maybe you're passive aggressively putting this on Reddit because you know your family's on Reddit and looks at this stuff.
It's like you're going to end up with a bunch of Reddit clout, karma for me is what it's called on Reddit. And maybe you needed that. Maybe you needed that win this week. And that's okay. Because guess what? I'm going to give you that win this week. You're not the asshole. Though I'm certain you already knew that. And that's wild that anyone would ask that of you.
Maybe we should make another classification of assholes. You're an asshole because you knew you weren't one.
You know what? Fair. An asshole because you asked this question where you knew you wouldn't, where you knew you was all to the good. So,
am I an asshole for buying peanut butter when I knew we were out? Yes, you an asshole because you knew you were an asshole.
I just discovered I had a jar of peanut butter hiding in the cabinet just so it was kind of like, but like, where the doors closed, but basically just like in the middle between the 2 doors. And I opened one door the other day and I was like, where the hell did that jar of peanut butter come from? Cool. Extra peanut butter in the house. Extra my peanut butter. I choose Jif Natural as my peanut butter choice. And I don't like OG Jif. So just point that out to you, man.
It only gets just a little bit oily.
Lately, I've been getting Members Mark peanut butter.
Yeah. They use molasses instead of corn syrup. That's the only difference. It's a different sweetener. That is literally it. Let's see. Not the asshole. If someone asked them to be Muslim/Christian, whatever they are not, to accommodate a guest, what would be their reaction? You don't need people in your life that do not respect you. As sad as that is, I'm very sorry for you, but you're doing the right thing for your emotional health in the long run. And again, there's nobody in this motherfucker that's like, yeah, you shady, shucky, sucky woman. Everybody's not the asshole, because guess what? They're not the asshole here. Their family is a bunch of fucking homophobic assholes and really should get over themselves. But, you know what you grew up in. I'm sad that it's your twin sister. That's real fucked up.
What's
the other burn?
Over the years, that twins don't like each other. Most of the twins I know.
What's that? Vanessa sent me the other day. One of the Maoris got what apparently looks like a new show with Thelma Hopkins, Aunt Rachel from Family Matters, and a bunch of people. And I'm like, do y'all know what that show is? Have y'all seen commercials or previews for it?
It's on Netflix. It's like a religious show. I've never watched it. It's not my cup of tea, but it's on Netflix. If I'm not mistaken.
Is it the Maori twin with the racist husband?
No,
or is it the good one?
Yes, it's the good one. The one
okay.
What I would prefer to say is the attractive one.
Fair enough. All right. I'm an asshole for not eating my meal at my cousin's wedding because my dad changed my selection. Several years ago, my grandparents had a 50th anniversary party. It was set up kind of like a wedding reception, so we had a choice for the meal. The options were 2 different German foods and steak. I was like 16, so I chose steak. Then, several years ago, what the fuck is you mad about? Anyway, we're going to keep reading, but then at the actual event, someone couldn't come and orders were mixed up, and I ended up with a pickle wrapped in meat. Everyone insisted that's what I picked, so I tried it, but then I gave it to my dad because I didn't like it. Later, they realized that I ended up with the person that couldn't come's food. No big deal. Well, since then, it has become a big joke of my family. They've done it 2 to 3 times whenever there's a wedding event with food selections. When my grandma was alive, she yelled at my dad for it since he's the instigator. I'm not sure if he's doing it to get 2 meals or to be annoying, make me mad, or what the deal is. My cousin got married Saturday. A few weeks ago, they sent out cards to pick our meal. They sent all of ours, dad's, mine, sisters, to my dad's house with 1 return envelope. The options were steak, chicken, or stuffed portobello mushrooms. I selected steak and specifically told my dad, just have a damn steak instead of messing with it. He said, I won't write anything on your card. Then fast forward to Saturday. Everything is going well. Wedding is nice. We sit down to dinner, and they give me a mushroom stuffed with vegetarian pilaf. I said there must be a mistake. I selected the beef. Server said there was a star on my place card, meant I ordered vegetarian. I looked at my dad and he laughed and said, I called Natalie after we sent our cards and told her you became a vegetarian and wanted to change your choice. My sister was there and said, Dad, don't you think that's getting old? I said, you said you wouldn't mess with it. He said, no, I said I wouldn't write on your card. And I didn't. I called her. Now you have to eat the mushroom. Ha ha. I said, no, I don't. Some time passed and Dad said, seriously, you're not even going to eat them. You're not even going to try it. They're just mushrooms. They won't hurt you. I shook my head. I hate mushrooms and I'm sick of this joke. I sat there till other people started getting up. Then I got up, went by the bar, had a beer, and avoided my dad till I left. My sister later said I should have at least tried a little. It was kind of rude just to have a whole plate of food sitting there. She said I could have had some of the rice and stuff, but for all I know, there was mushrooms in the pilaf too. Honestly, this makes me not want to go to any more family events, even events with a meal. Am I the asshole for not eating any of the food during the wedding?
Well,
no.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't want them there.
No. You were served the wrong thing because your dad's an asshole and thinks this shit is funny and this shit is not. It was funny a couple of times. Now it's to the point of, what the fuck is your problem, guy?
He making dad jokes. This is another one where
I am a dad. I don't make jokes like that.
Yes, you are a dad who doesn't make jokes like that. But I still put the Anthony rule in effect on this one. This person's an asshole because they know they weren't an asshole before they wrote this in.
Correct. They know they are not wrong. Similar to the last one, because they are not wrong. This is fucked up. It's dumb. It's a waste of food. It's a fucking waste of time. And it's like, bro, if I'm old enough to be drinking beers, you really got to not be fucking with my fucking food. It's a problem there, guy. Although they might be in Canada where you can start drinking like 16 or 18 or 19 or some shit like that there. Who knows? I can't call it.
Shit, aren't there places in Europe where you could drink at like 14?
Yeah, for sure. So, but could you imagine 14-year-old you just sidling up to the bar? Yeah, man, pour me one of those pilsners and let's go.
I shudder to think what I would have gotten into back then.
Not an O'Doul's?
I just like back then, like 14, it would have been like masturbation and N64. So if you throw like drunk on top of that,
drunken masturbation,
I probably would have been like drunkenly jerking off to Diddy Kong or something.
Oh,
is that considered bestiality if I jerk off to Diddy Kong?
Yeah, it's a cartoon. It's like,
but she's an ape.
It's still a cartoon. She's not an ape. She's a cartoon. It's a cartoon of an ape, sure, but it's not. She's not an ape.
Like Donkey Kong's a gorilla, right? So it's like, what's Diddy Kong? Like a spider monkey or something?
The spider.
I thought that the way Diddy. Wait a minute, Diddy. Which one are we talking about here?
Isn't Diddy like Diddy Kong Racing?
That's Diddy, and he has his own brand of monkey because he has a weird tail. He has like an opposable tail.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, I forgot Diddy is a boy.
I mean, and again, no shame to you. Again, still wouldn't be bestiality. As I think bestiality just has to be you actually fucking an animal. I think if you're jacking off the animals, it's a weird. It's your not weird.
Is it like an odd furry then or something?
I never want to yuck anyone's yum. I feel like that would mean you have your own kink and your own masturbatory habits. But I'd say unless you're going to fuck that sheep fucker. This guy's a sheep fucker. He's not one of us. He's not one of us.
For the record, I've never jerked off Diddy Kong Racing. I was just saying.
If you were
drunk and 14, you might.
And 14.
If I was 14 and owned a PlayStation and owned Tomb Raider.
Nah, you would. I feel like you had to get to like PlayStation 3 before Lara Croft became, jerkable.
I don't know, man. Like if I was 14 and I saw those pixelated chesticles,
them triangle titties,
yeah,
trapezoid titties.
Oh shit. Last one. I'm an asshole for having a vulgar and unprofessional nickname. I work in a hospital with around 6 to 7 other guys in my department, along with the chief of our department. A part of our workplace culture, which I frankly find cool, is to have nicknames at work. Our nicknames are pretty much interchangeable with our actual names. Say, my name's John, but sometimes they'll say, hey, involve nickname in this case too. Or, hey, John, how was your weekend? And I'll respond, boring nickname. What about yours? The nicknames aren't anything offensive at all, by the way. Here's the rundown. We've got Speedy, who got her nickname because we saw her sprint once, and she's insanely fast. Archer, a former archery champion. Seer, because she is super into divination. Oh, Seer. She's a seer. Snowborn, because she's never cold. The chief, whose nickname is the King.
Or is
the story
Robert
of the
Parrish?
King. Oh yeah, thanks. The story of the King is actually pretty cool, to be honest. He was the youngest ever chief of any department, and one of the older folks called him the Boy King. He's definitely not a boy now, so he's just the King. My nickname is the Grave Walker. Reason being, I work the graveyard, middle of the night shift most of the time. I love it. The hospital is nice and quiet, and the patients that come in are real cases that genuinely need help. I also have some scars, which contributed to the badass nickname, according to the chief. Personally, I think the nicknames are great, as do the rest of us, because it brought us a little bit closer. And frankly, my nickname's cool. Call me immature, but we work dead serious jobs and need a little bit of humor and fun sometimes. A new girl joined us, and she was very against nicknames. She found out when someone said, "Hey, involve the grave walker in this case. He's experienced with this." And she found me scary to approach because of that name. She now refuses to call anyone by the nickname, and if I reference someone by the nickname, she used to just flat out ignore me. The chief had a chat with her about respecting the workplace culture and how she needs to integrate better. So instead, she came after me, yelling at me about how my nickname is vulgar, unprofessional, and I should have denied it when they gave it to me. She told me to ask everyone, but make it seem like it came from me so she doesn't get into trouble. She told me to talk to everyone, but make it seem like it came from me so she doesn't get in trouble. If it's relevant, we haven't given her a nickname yet, and now we try to reference each other's names when talking to her. I also told her to go fuck herself when she came yelling, and she looked like she was about to faint. Am I the asshole? Is the old grave walker an asshole for having
Of course not.
a really, really tight nickname?
He's not an asshole, but like he's definitely gonna get in trouble for that last part.
Yeah, that'll get you. I don't know how this person works. Maybe it could be in a culture like they said that he can get away with that kind of shit.
This feels like kind of shit that would be on like a NBC sitcom.
Scrubs. It is Scrubs. If it ever were Scrubs, it is Scrubs.
What's the or it's definitely like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine type situation.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a good comment. No, keep going.
Because they always seem like they they'll cuss and bleep it out on that show. Like you can go boop yourself. I'm gonna keep my graveyard name.
Oh my goodness. Somebody in the comments wrote, "Ask Turkleton 23, one alfalfa, Kevin Turk, Bambi, Carla, bearded hug monster, Dr. Cox." Basically, they saw it as Scrubs just like I saw it as Scrubs. And they wrote, that's what they wrote in the comments. So I'm trying to see if I can find any comment that kind of hits where we would be.
I think these people came up with some pretty badass nicknames, though.
Seriously, bro. Gravewalker's a sick-ass nickname. Not the asshole. The culture of nicknames isn't problematic unless it's used around patients. Ask for the grave walker when I'm in the hospital and I may shit my pants. She entered a culture that she found discomforting. She can then ask, "Can you guys not use the nicknames to me? I prefer real names, and please don't give me one." Or she can decide if it isn't right for her and leave. If someone came after me like that, I'd tell them to go get fucked too. I don't think these people work professional jobs because
it's kind of like when, maybe they should have gave her a nickname or something like that. Or, it's been times where I worked in a situation. I'm like, where we all do something and then we just exclude one person, and that person doesn't really feel excluded because that person don't fucking know about it. So, like once, she said she didn't want to play. He didn't really have to say go fuck yourself, but just leave her out. Some people aren't fun at work.
All right, one more comment because it seems fun. Yeah, it's a cute nickname for a pro wrestler or a roadie, but we're going to have the grave walker do this procedure is not an inspiring thing to hear in a hospital. When I go to my accountants, I don't want Phil, the embezzler, doing my taxes either.
That's a good one, the embezzler.
Oh, shit. Word to Phil, the embezzler. Well, that was that. On to the next. All right. So, as for television.
Dude, according to fucking Wikipedia, Diddy Kong was penciled in as a spider monkey.
Yeah, cool. I knew he wasn't he wasn't like a ape or a gorilla or whatever, you know?
It says Diddy Kong was penciled in as a spider monkey, although he is not specifically referenced as belonging to a particular species. Hell yeah. Real talk. Spider monkey.
Real talk. If you know, you know. And if you don't, well, that's because you ain't been around here for all however many years of the show we've been doing.
I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey.
So I this week, probably over the last 2 days, started and watched all of How I Met Your Father on Hulu. And let me tell you something. Well, one, I just told you I watched all of it. A goddamn delight. Hilary Duff is fun. The actors they have are fun. The way the story's going is good. They have my lady from Sex and the City, Kim Cattrall, is who plays the mom in the future. And unlike on How I Met Your Mother, where they had Bob Saget doing voiceover, they actually have Kim Cattrall sitting on a couch talking to her son via a video phone call in 2050. So it's a neat way to do it, I guess, you know.
Do she talk about fucking black guys in Greenwich Village anytime or?
It comes up. I gotta tell you, that's a joke they have often. Like, Mom, I don't want to hear about you fucking. And he's like, sorry, guy, it happened, and so forth and so on. So, it was great. Yeah, I watched it here on my iPad throughout the last couple of days, and I enjoyed every episode of it. Truly a good time, and so if you fuck with How I Met Your Mother, the first one go around, I think you'd be okay with the sequel or the follow up, How I Met Your Father, and how they involve the original series with the new one. So a real good time to be had there. Have I watched anything else? Again, I'll keep repeating it until they wrap up. Game Theory with Bomani Jones is a goddamn delight. They have my man Roy Wood Jr. on this week talking about what he's been doing down in his hometown to help bring baseball to his old neck of the woods, because it doesn't seem to be a sport that gets a lot of love shown to it in his community, even though he came up playing baseball in high school and stuff like that. And so he was a real good guest. Just Roy Wood Jr. is a very funny guy to begin with, but I like him coming to, you know, the show is a sports show, and that's mostly what they come and talk about. And Bomani had a very good piece about HBCUs and their funding and so forth and so on. And I was once again very good. Also very good because he had his mother on as the guest as he discussed that particular thing, because his mother is a professor at an HBCU. So I fuck with it. I don't want to say she's a professor and I'd be wrong, but I don't just want to say she works at an HBCU, because that is beyond what she's a professional woman at that HBCU. I think he said she teaches finance, but she might run finance at that particular school. You know what I'm saying? So forgive me if I got that wrong, but again, really, really great show. That is 3 episodes in. Every one of them have just been great. And they only got 3 episodes left before this first season gets done. But I truly hope it gets renewed and they get a longer run next time. Because HBO be so weird with these little short British style runs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, give me like 25 episodes, man. Hit me hard.
Yeah, I'm an adult. I can handle it.
For sure. But that's all I've been watching. Atlanta's back. Have you been getting down with the Get Down?
Yeah, I've been watching Atlanta. I've been watching Snowfall. Today I started. I didn't realize the last season of Claws on TNT is over, so I'm gonna start watching that.
Okay, man,
Niecy Nash, she is a national treasure, boy.
For sure.
And what else have I been watching? I just got back from vacation, so this week it was pretty much, catching up on, shows that I missed, like, watching Abbott Elementary and like stuff like that from weeks before.
That most recent episode of Abbott Elementary was also a damn delight.
Yeah,
that just really is
just freaking good. Period.
Yeah, it really is. It really is a really well done show. So I fuck with that. Box, you been watching anything, man?
I finished Euphoria.
Okay.
I finished all the Fast and the Furious movies.
So all 9 of them on HBO Max?
No, I think like the first 5 or 6,
And
7
then
and
9.
8, 7 and 8 aren't, and then 9 is.
Because I've only seen 1 and 2. I didn't see Tokyo Drift. And then the rest of them are just, I haven't seen any of them.
9 is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in these movies. I made a joke when that movie was coming out because like my buddies went and saw it in theaters, and it turns out the joke I made was
It's true. What, that they went in space?
Yeah.
Hey, what was this?
Fast 9.
Yeah. That was on the trailer.
I didn't know that because I didn't see the trailer.
Yeah, I own it. I own that movie. That movie is sitting right there on the shelf. I own all the fast movies. The main ones. I don't own the Hobbs and Shaws. So I have that Fast 9 sitting there on the shelf in the steelbook. I have yet to watch it, and I think I'm gonna make it a point to try to watch it this weekend because I own it and I might as well, And because but like I said, the space part was in the trailer, so I knew they launched a rocket into space. I'm excited.
Are you guys going to go see Morbius?
No.
Nope. People, my buddy literally, like when you guys heard me talking to him right before we hit record, he literally just came back from seeing Morbius. There's no need to go see Morbius.
I am not morbidly curious to see that shit. I am good on that. That movie looked awful in the trailers. And when your shit look that bad in just a trailer, when you can't cut a good trailer, nah, bruh.
From what he told me, they had to like basically redo the entire movie because it was made before the last Spider-Man movie came out. Mm-hmm. But then because they got pushed back because of COVID, the whole movie didn't make any sense anymore after the events of the last Spider-Man movie. So they basically had to cut the whole thing up and redo the whole thing, and it just fucking blows.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I don't really fuck with Jared Leto.
I literally had him tell me what the post-credit scene was, just so like I don't feel the need to go watch it.
All right. Spoilers for Morbius. If you don't want to know, how long do you think it'll take you to tell us this post-credit?
10 seconds, maybe.
All right. Fast forward about 30 seconds just in case you have to comment on it. And?
Apparently, Vulture shows up, and him and Morbius talk about like forming the Sinister Six.
I thought Morbius was a good guy.
No, he was an anti-hero.
Huh. Okay.
Which still don't make sense because he wouldn't be in the Sinister Six anyway.
Correct.
I think
trying to be fucking up.
The words he used were team up, but I know that they were talking about forming a Sinister Six movie with Morbius in it. And it could just because of like intellectual properties or something. But I also think I'll look it up. But I feel like there might have been a version where he was in one because there's been multiple incarnations of that group.
Yeah. Oof. Man. Well, if you're back, you ain't missed shit. Of course, I play video games, and I beat 2 games 2 days in a row. Let me go to my list here. I've beaten 3 games since the last time we spoke. I finished Tunic. I told you Tunic was the shit. Tunic was shit, and I got the good ending of Tunic, which means I collected all the instruction booklet pages throughout that game. So that's how you get the good ending of Tunic. Trust me, the good ending is better than because I see people complaining about the final boss, but go get the good ending and maybe you don't got to worry about things like that. I finished Guardians of the Galaxy. Highly recommend Guardians of the Galaxy. Highly recommend that game. That story was fantastic. Great game. Whole lot of fun. My family watched me play almost all of it. They were saying people would just like dip in and be like, "Ooh, I'm going to watch you work on this." And so that was a really great game. And then I played a super small game called A Memoir Blue for about an hour. It's a real short game, and it's more of an interactive experience. I mean, you do have some playing, I guess. You know what I'm saying? You are doing some controller tapping and stuff like that, but it's not a lot of game there. And that was really just an easy 1,000 gamer score for your boy. You know what I'm saying? But I did finish it. So, a Memoir Blue available on Game Pass. Guardians of the Galaxy available on Game Pass. Tunic available on Game Pass. I might be trying to tell you something about that particular service. That is Get Down to Get Down. Box, have you gotten back to playing anything, but in particular Elden Ring, or are you still on a Elden Ring sabbatical?
I was going to try to play Elden Ring the other day, and then I got distracted with Fast and the Furious, and I didn't get around to it. Fair
enough. I know how much you dig it, so I know you'll return to it eventually. So
I don't hate it. Like I don't know. It's like last week got kind of thrown for a loop with like the funeral and everything, and I just didn't get around to it. But it'll happen at some point. Like I'll force it in.
Fair enough. Just make sure you lube up first.
Nah, I like the friction.
Ant-Man, what have you been? If you've been in the realm of video gamer, what you been fucking with?
Just Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
For a minute, I'm at the part where he goes to the little island where his dad was killed.
Okay.
And I've been playing with that, and at first it was like, man, I didn't like it. It's still some parts I don't like about it, but it seems like I'm almost done with that part.
Okay.
And I got a few projects out like I'm doing around the house where like I haven't been playing as much, but like when we get off this, I'll probably play a little bit and go to bed and play tomorrow during work.
Yeah. I can never bring myself to play when I'm at work. I can watch a show because I can just put the iPad right here. Right now, the Tyler the Creator concert is on my iPad going right now because it's live on Amazon Prime Video if you are so inclined. And so, so I can just do that right here. I can actually play too because the Xbox app, I can stream to my iPad and just hook a controller up to it and play it on there. But I don't know. I never can bring myself to play games on the work. I don't know. It doesn't. Because once I start playing games, I'm playing games. You know what I'm about to really get down to get down.
I go in and out. It's especially with that game. Like sometimes I'll just get flustered and put it down. And like I haven't been playing anything else. Like I do have Guardians of the Galaxy, but I play like maybe 3 minutes of it because the kids was way too interested in it because they know the property. So I was like, man, I'm not playing this right now because y'all will be sitting here. What group gonna do?
So, like, I thought I'd be bothered by the voices being different in that game, like than the movie actors. True, not even a little bit did it bother me, man. Like I said, that game, I got to give it up to them, man. They really pulled something out they had with that, which is unexpected because I saw the preview for that at probably E3 last year or whatever, and I was like, no, that don't look good, but it works way differently than I thought it would, and so forth. Just a lot of fun to be had there, man. It plays like Mass Effect Junior. If you ever played Mass Effect, fuck around against Guardians of the Galaxy. And if you play Guardians of the Galaxy but haven't played Mass Effect, go play Mass Effect. Go play Mass Effect Trilogy, not Mass Effect Andromeda. No, but the Mass Effect Trilogy, it's hot shit. So that's what's popping with that. Let me check our email before I sign off here. I always want to make sure, just in case anybody has shown love. Meet Eddie, easy transcript-based audio editing. No, thank you. But so nothing there in the folder. But you know what it is. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Stage Crunchy, our Twitch channel, Stage Crunchy and Milk. Follow us on Twitter at SkimPod, SKIMPOD. Follow us over on the TikToks, Stays Crunchy and Milk, and on IG, Stays Crunchy and Milk as well. Just hit us over all the socials. You know how it gets down. If you want to support the show financially and have a few bucks to toss our way, feel free. So join up with us over on Patreon, where members at the $5 above tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. We also have merch available over on tpublic.com/user/states/milk, all one word. This particular a pod called Cash shirt, yeah, it's over there. You can get it. Feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. The pastor says she was going to call, but she has not. But maybe, I don't know, maybe she's considered it and decided against it. So who knows?
She's waiting for the perfect moment.
There you go. Sooner or later, you'll probably be able to expect a call from the pod sister who always sends in some hilarity whenever she calls in. At least they make me laugh. It makes your brother uncomfortable, but it makes me laugh every goddamn time. So, yeah, that's just how it gets down. That's my homeboy Tatum216. Good to have you back, sir.
Oh yeah, I was going.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, we would have had a whole discussion about your vacation because you went to a whole different incline than I ever even knew existed. And if Vanessa yelled at me and said, "I told you that incline existed," and you just forget about it all the time, and I'm like, I guess so. So I go to one that's down away from where you was at.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
I mean, it's more than one. It was fine. That shit sounded really rickety though.
See, and that's interesting. The one I ride does not. Can't call it. That's Lunchbox 2099.
Nailed it.
Correct, you did, sir.
You nailed it.
Oh, well, yeah. Sure, to some degree, I'm certain. Our missing man is the real ODP. Let's pray up his internet. You just send prayers to his internet. That's all I want you to do. Because good gravy. But you'll have him on the show this week. Patrons, you already heard it. I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to enjoy it as much as the freebies. But what can I say? You got it before they did. So it's all to the good. Plus, I'll probably force his hand to make me a new one. And then you'll get a new one. But you got better than that there. I am the Internet Terror 713. You've just been podcast to, and I know you loved it. See you next time.
Next Thursday.
But what happened
Peace.
to you? It's going to be beautiful.